Bickford. Welcome to the Health and Wellness Program on behalf of the official news portal of Treaty 2 Territory. You are watching Circle Talks. Noongum maigi gajichigamin. We want to extend a greetings on behalf of the government of the First Nations in Treaty 2 Territory.
Greetings from the government of First Nations in Treaty 2 Territory. It is a wonderful time of the year as we prepare for the winter solstice and holiday spirit. First Nations in Treaty 2 Territory are continuing to advance the treaty relationship with the Crown, which tells us to travel down the river of life side by side. This relationship was made through Treaty 2 on the 21st of August, 1871 at Manitoba House with the Crown representatives. Today, we send holiday wishes to all of you and your families. Please be safe, stay close to home, and let's collectively welcome a new year with a renewed spirit and vision for all the nations in Treaty 2 Territory.
Nothing about us without us.
Onishishin jobandamang, yeah. You can feel the spirit in the air now. Now that the snow is here, now that the weather is cold, not that I'm complaining about cold weather, I really love all of that stuff. Just before Christmas. I want to thank you for tuning in and for supporting us. I just finished saying that this was a Circle Talks gawin. This is health and wellness tagina. We're gonna give you our latest segment on our health and wellness program, and then we're gonna give you the COVID update, and that will be the full of our program. Akwe. I need Chigoma.
Our government is moving forward with our health and well-being circle. Our 7 circles address and draft laws and policies with local nations, the nation, the government of FNT2T. Circles are structured throughout our administration. Our circles are headed by an advisory circle, a keeper along with help from regional office keepers and local nation helpers, mandated to deliver objectives and assign tasks through the yearly work plans. Health and well-being supports the local nations through restoration of health and well-being, meaning a balance of mind, body, and spirit to achieve minobamatiziwen. Nothing about us without us.
Nothing about us without us. And now it's time for your COVID update. 201 new cases and 15 deaths across Manitoba. Once again, 201 new cases and 15 deaths as a result of when COVID-19 from the CBC News site under Health. When feeling lonely and unhappy veers into depression, challenges of these pandemic holidays. How to talk to your kids and cope yourself if these holidays are feeling a bit less joyful. Despite all the bright cartoon specials and joy-infused music that pervades this time of year, it is a well-established fact that not everyone feels like celebrating when the holidays roll around. This year, added stress from the second wave of the pandemic is making day-to-day life more difficult. If you've been feeling more down lately, you are not alone. A national survey released earlier this month found that the recent surge in COVID-19 cases has made people more stressed and feeling greater levels of despair and hopelessness. Nearly 3/4 of the Canadian population, or 71%, reported feeling more worried about this coming second wave of the pandemic back in September, with 40% reporting their mental health had deteriorated since March. Add to that mix the fact that people can't gather for the holidays as they might want, and the cold, dark days, and it's all a bit of a recipe for tough weeks ahead. People find the winter to be a challenge under the best circumstances, said Emily Jenkins, assistant professor at the University of British Columbia's nursing school and lead researcher on the survey. And so I could imagine that where those kind of pre-existing challenges with the season exist, along with the very tight restrictions that we're all going to be living through this holiday season, that it's going to have an impact on mental health. CBC's The National asked Canadians to send in their specific concerns and questions about the upcoming pandemic holidays, and two psychiatrists offered some advice. Helping young children. Shannon Barner of Edmonton wanted to know about talking to her elementary school-age children who are asking about doing normal holiday activities like seeing their cousins and grandparents. Is there a professional response or something more that we could be providing for the kids? Should we be providing more than just a simple no because of COVID answer? Dr. Shimi Kang, a psychiatrist and author from Vancouver, recommends using a mix of truth and optimism. We don't want to sugarcoat things, but we want to give them age-appropriate truth, she said. The brain likes information. It gets scared of the unknown. She recommends explaining why people are physically distanced and how the virus is contagious. But an important addition to the answer, she said, is something positive. Talk about we're still going to have a great holiday season. We're going to drop off gifts or do a choir on Zoom with grandparents. End with that tone of optimism. The brain loves that. Tough times for older kids too. Your older kids may be feeling more stressed and anxious too. It's been an upside down kind of year for those who were supposed to be off at college or university, only to have spent most of their time home or in a dorm room, alone, attending classes online. Chloe Champion in Halifax wanted some advice for dealing with that feeling of isolation. That's been a growing concern for doctors like Dr. David Gratzer, a psychiatrist at Toronto's Center for Addiction and Mental Health. A recent CAMH study found about 1 in 4 Canadians say they are turning to binge drinking to cope. He stresses that especially right now, using substances in moderation is important. It's also important for us to find other ways of coping with this isolation and loneliness that we're feeling, he said. Obviously, it's going to be different than it usually is. We're not popping by our parents' place for a cup of coffee. But maybe we can reach out with Skype or FaceTime or WeChat. Even a traditional phone call can go a long way, Gratzer says. Not just sad, but depressed. The reality, though, is that not everyone has someone to call. One viewer asked how you can tell when feeling lonely and unhappy has veered into depression. Go deeper, suggests Kang. In relationships, try for more vulnerability, more jokes, and more laughs. She said loneliness loneliness can actually have toxic effects, such as reducing our immune system and has been linked to early death. If there are symptoms of depression that lasts more than 2 weeks, which is a low mood plus disturbed sleep, difficulty with your focus, concentration and lack of interest, motivation, anxiety, panic, or any suicidal thoughts, we definitely want to get some help, she said. Jenkins' data has suggested people experiencing mild to moderate stress, anxiety, or depression are not seeking out mental health support, mostly because they are unaware that help exists. The Canadian Mental Health Association has the Bounce Back program that's now available nationally, she said. The federal government has Willingness Together Canada, which is another mental health support resources available online free of charge, available to people in their own homes. The number of people experiencing suicidal thoughts has also increased since March. In September, a full 10% of respondents to the UBC survey reported experiencing suicidal thoughts in the previous 2 weeks, way up from the 2.5% reporting having such thoughts in the previous year prior to the pandemic. Not that it necessarily translates to suicide, but indicates that there's a very significant level of distress among a lot of people, Jenkins said. And she worries what the holidays will bring. In Canada, help is also available nationwide for anyone having suicidal thoughts. If you are thinking of suicide or know someone who is, you can get help from Crisis Services Canada by calling toll-free 1-833-456-4566 or texting 45645 between 4 p.m. and midnight Eastern Time. Basic tips to try. If you're just looking for some basic tips or suggestions for getting through the next few weeks, Gratster offers the following. 1. Learn. We're designed to learn. It's intellectually stimulating, so you don't have to learn Japanese tonight. But some type of learning to incorporate into your day can be useful. 2. Give. Obviously, charitable acts are very different right now, but even helping an elderly neighbor doing some shopping is very rewarding for them. But it's also very rewarding for you. 3. Exercise. There are very few things that are as evidenced as exercise for not only treating major mental illnesses like depression, anxiety, but preventing it in the first place. And finally, try to reach out to others, Gratzer says. It's important for us to maintain our connection with people, and it's important for us to maintain a healthy lifestyle in, frankly, pretty stressful times. We want to thank you for tuning in. We're going to check now to see how many emails we're going to be pushing forward and looking to send to Santa. So here we go. We're looking for our emails so far. Gabakinanwe, Ejabakinamanwe, Ejoshibamanwe. Angeo Beach. Nothing for no emails to send forward to Santa today. In fact, right at this hour is the deadline to send your emails to Santa, and that deadline has now passed. We want to thank you for tuning in and for giving us your support too, Gagino. Aham satash ni joganedug, dinayamaganedug. We will be back again at 6 p.m. for the Anishinaabe program with me, Corey the Coyote Whitford, and we will be doing book number 8 and possibly book number 9 tonight too. Avinuchak Pagitin. Let the children watch this evening, and we may even do head, shoulders, knees, and toes. But I want to apologize on behalf of Santa Claus. Ke? He won't be making an appearance this evening here as he's way too busy. Oh, and the part about jigging, about wanting to have Santa Claus come on board and come and jig. Uh, I think Santa Claus has passed on the opportunity to do some jigging here this evening. And so, my friends, as a consolation, boys and girls, we will be reading from book number 7 and book number 8 this evening from our book series, our 15 book series. Once again, I want to thank you for tuning in. I hope you're keeping safe wherever you are. It is so, the weather is very, it's very, Gisina. It is cold, and I'm saying that only as an observation, not as a complaint. Amsa. I want to thank you once again for tuning in and giving us your support and offering and sharing our support too. One more time, I want to leave you with our greetings from our government of the First Nations in Treaty 2 territory. And I want to thank you for your time too. Ahu, miigwech. Miigwech Kinoya. Thank you for watching Health and Wellness on the official news portal of the Treaty 2 territory. I'm your host, Corey the Coyote Whitford, and today is December the 20th, Wednesday, Abetoise, December the 23rd, 2020. Thank you very much, everyone. Take care, and we'll see you again at 6 p.m. Miigwech.